do our best to answer the questions, but there just isn't much we can tell you other than that at the minute. Okay. So, yeah. You probably have 100 questions. We don't have the answers.
I know this is probably old news to most people, but I had to just have a little chat about the seismic change for Jehovah's Witnesses this past month in Europe. As of Monday the 13th of May 2019, publishers should not collect personal data in connection with the field ministry. But don't take my word for it. Have a listen to this service overseer read the letter.
So I have a letter to read to you, brothers and sisters. If you can have your complete attention for this one. So it says, Dear brothers, publishers should not collect personal data in connection with the field ministry. That's in bold. This means not maintaining records that include a person's name, address, language, ethnicity, and so forth. It also includes not recording addresses when no one is at home. So any records you have for yourself, for your return visits, please discard them. We are no longer taking not at homes. So chuck out your notepad. You're not going to need it.
If you've never been a JW, you might be thinking, so what? But actually this is huge. For example, not recording addresses when no one is at home is 90% of what a JW does when they're out in service for an hour. And writing down not homes is crucial to doing a good job. Here are two Bible verses often used. 2 Timothy 4 and verse 5, fully accomplish your ministry. And Matthew 10 verse 11, into whatever city or village you enter, search out who in it is deserving, and stay there until you leave, or don't. A large part of fully accomplishing your ministry, or searching out who is deserving, requires writing down all those not homes, and then someone else returning at another time to find them in. You would be blood guilty if you didn't fully accomplish your ministry. For most of the 20th century, house-to-house work, which JW say identifies them as true Christians, has been pointless, busy work. But in 2019, its value has become zero. Because even if you find some poor sod at home, and they listen and they take one of your biannual magazines, what are the chances of you ever speaking to them again? It's called field ministry, and this is drawn from the Bible's farming references. So how do Jehovah's Witnesses reconcile the new rules with, for example, 1 Corinthians 3 verse 6? I planted, that's the field ministry first call. Apollos watered, that's return visits, but God kept making it grow. So how can God make something grow if no one waters? Jehovah's Witnesses believe that they must do this to be saved at Armageddon. Matthew 28, 19 and 20 says to go therefore and make disciples. And verse 20 says to teach them to observe all the things I've commanded you. Teaching someone all the things requires many return visits. A midweek JW sales meeting highlighted the importance of taking good notes for return visits. It asks, why is this important? To fulfill our commission, we must do more than preach. And then they quote the two verses that I mentioned, to teach people and to water. This requires finding the person again, talking about his concerns, and building on our previous conversation. Therefore, when we find interest, it is necessary to make a record of it. But how do we make a record of it? Fear not, more food at the proper time below. How to do it. Make sure that you have tools in your witnessing case for recording interest. Tools? Well, like a hammer and a saw? Oh, you mean a pen and paper. Keep your records neat, well organized and up to date. Make a record as soon as you finish the call. Why is this? Because in 5 minutes you'll have forgotten where they live and what you talked about. So you must rush around a corner, hide behind a bush, and write everything down. And of course, we're told what we should write down. Write down information about the householder. What is his name and contact information, such as his address, phone number, email address? What did you observe about him and his family when you discussed things with him that may be significant? Write down the details of your conversation. What scriptures did you read? What did he say about his beliefs? What literature did you leave? Record the time, the day of the week, and the date of the visit. Write down what you plan to do next time. What did you promise to discuss? When did you say you would return? Well, now then, with the new rule of taking no notes, imagine a good JW meets and talks to nearly 3 people in a morning. What are the chances that they can permanently commit to memory all those details?
There's no way of keeping on at homes. Unless you've got an exceptional memory and can remember where every person that wasn't home has been. Which, believe me, I can't. Okay?
It's just not going to happen. And that's why they're saying that the only way to follow up interest is one of these 3 ways.
Publishers are encouraged to cultivate the interest they find. A publisher could do so by 1. Providing his contact information to the interested person and arranging a return visit. 2. Directing the interested person to the address of the nearest congregation meetings. Or 3. Directing the person to jw.org.
Now, there's problems with all 3 of these solutions. Let's take them in reverse order. Number 3, directing people to the internet to find out more. Well, yeah. Come on over to YouTube and find out more. There is such a strong XJW presence online now that number 3 is a big risk. It's not going to work out well if people start looking on the internet to find out more. Option 2, direct them to the Kingdom Hall and wish them the best of luck. Well, due to activism and other issues in recent years, Kingdom Hall's doors are not as open as they once were. Usually doors are locked at the start of the meeting and you can expect an interrogation if you just show up for the first time in an old pair of jeans. And then there's option 1. Give strangers your contact details. Give them your phone number. Will everyone be issued a sort of an Obama phone? Or can you expect to receive messages from unknown numbers on your personal line? Suppose you call on someone who's a real hottie. You give them your number. They text you. You start a conversation, you're texting back and forth, and you arrange a return visit. Well, according to the 2012 Awake article, Are We Just Friends? Or More, we're told that texting people of the opposite sex is a huge pitfall. You start by texting just a bit to one person, but soon you're texting a lot, and to many people. Before you know it, you're pretty much dating 3 different boys. And each one thinks he is the special one you're getting to know better. When they find out the truth, they get hurt, and you get the reputation of being a flirt. Well, Lara, thanks for that sound advice. So that's right, without realising it, you might in fact now be courting an unbeliever and require a marking talk. And that's before we get into the seedy underworld of emojis. To help the brothers out, I'm sure they will review this invaluable info to protect our dear brothers and sisters. Field service groups could review which emoji is safe and which ones can lead to fornication. It's truly going to be a minefield in this new world. Many JWs are thinking, this is the King of the North attacking. Some think it's a good thing. To quote them, it gets rid of the deadwood. And we no longer need to beat a dead horse if they don't want to study. It shows the end is nigh.
So that is a change. But let's view it positively. And the positive way we can view it is another scripture. Isaiah chapter 8 and verse 10. Okay, this is how we take this positively. It says, devise a plan, but it will be thwarted. Say what you like, but it will not succeed, for God is with us. So although this is an adjustment for our ministry, Jehovah is still with us. He's still backing the work. He still wants people to know about him. So you probably have 100 questions. We don't have the answers. We are waiting for more information from the branch. So please be patient as we try and figure out how we're going to cope with all this and deal with it. Interesting times. Satan closes the door, Jehovah just opens 10 new ones. That's all it is. Okay.
Oddly, no one has mentioned Isaiah 60 verse 22, where the little one will become 1,000 and the small one a mighty nation. I myself, Jehovah, will speed it up in its own time. This doesn't feel like things are speeding up. For those of you who made it to the end, a funny little side note. Even though note-taking was illegal for over a year, Watchtower was in such a rush to get these letters out to all affected countries in the EU, they even sent one to Zimbabwe. I could just imagine someone sending these out, right? Send to the Britain branch, to Germany, to France, to Spain. What about Zimbabwe? Is that in Europe? Dunno. Dave, where is Zimbabwe? I think it's near Albania. Let's just send them one. 2 days later. Dear brothers, sorry about that letter. Carry on regardless.
We will do our best to answer the questions, but there just isn't much we can tell you other than that at the minute. Okay. So, yeah.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. If you like this one, go watch this one. Or try a binge watch here.